Thank you very much for joining again. This is a very short video about how to write a introduction section of a manuscript. I have a longer version of this video, but for some people who already know how to write the introduction, and if you are more interested in refreshing your memory, then this shorter video could be of interest to you. And that's why I created this few minutes of video in one slide so that you can do your refresher. But if you are a beginner starting from scratch, I don't know how to write a manuscript, then still this is useful. Based on this short video, you can go to the longer versions. So the whole purpose is to simplify things for the audience. Okay, so there are two main purposes and four key elements of the introduction. And you can use this as a checklist when you develop your manuscript. So what are the two main purposes? The first purpose of the introduction is to attract the readers to your manuscript or to your scientific paper. Your readers should be attracted, and there should be a compelling reason why they should come and invest their time on your manuscript. So the first purpose is to attract the readers. And the second purpose is to tell them what to expect. Once they are attracted and once they start reading, then tell them what they have to expect from your manuscript. So based on what you tell them, they will either decide to continue to read the manuscript or they may stop and go to another one. So that's for the reader. But remember, your reader can be your reviewer also. So this is if the reader is reviewing your manuscript for publication, or your thesis advisor, or anyone could be your mentor, then they can decide based on what they read in the introduction section. They may make their preliminary judgment about your manuscript and say that this is an excellent piece, or they may say that this is not worth publishing. So these are the two main purposes, and you should always keep these two things in mind when you develop the introduction section. So to attract the readers and then tell them what to expect. So what you see in the other four elements is then important for attracting the readers and for telling them what to expect. So how do you attract them? You attract them by giving them some background information about the research topic. What are you talking about? Is it an important topic? How many people are affected by this problem? And are you proposing something that can really address a huge challenge, a big problem in large scale? So tell them about the topic. It could be about an infectious disease, it could be about a pandemic, or it can be about a chronic problem. So tell them about the research topic itself. Once you introduce the research topic, then the next step is to review previous research in that area. You may not be the only person, and usually you are not, or not the first person to write something about it. In some way, people have already seen this. They have done something. And sometimes, especially when you are not experienced, when you are not up to date with the literature, there is always a temptation to claim that you are the first one who has done this or proposed this. So be careful before you make that claim. You have to really do some review of the literature, contact people who have already had some experience, and put that in your introduction section. So that's very important. And sometimes some people even deliberately exclude some highly relevant literature from their own area or country and say that there is no literature in this area. But the reviewers, remember, most of the reviewers are more experienced than yourself. So they'll find out, and the information is mostly available, in public repositories. And then you have to continue once you have done some succinct review of the literature, going as far back as, for example, about 10 years, then you have to put a justification, and that justification should include some analysis of the problems with the previous research. So you have to explain the previous research was done on a few individuals, it was limited to a certain area of the globe or in a country, it was limited to a very few group of individuals, highly selected group, highly biased group, whatever reason. Or there could be some methodological problems with the previous research. So you have to put that information in the introduction section. And then finally, the fourth element is tell them what you did to fix that problem. So here you have to state the objective, what was the objective of your study? And briefly, you have to also mention what you have found. And that means the reader will now be forced to move to the next step to find out exactly what you did. And the reviewer will also be very interested to continue to read the rest of your manuscript and then make some judgment about the outcome of his review. So in brief, this is how you write the introduction section. And I strongly advise, if you are a junior researcher or anyone who also wants to refresh your memory of writing the introduction, you can keep this on your whiteboard, or you can keep this as a checklist when you go through your manuscript, and you have to check whether you have had fulfilled the two main purposes and the four elements are included in your introduction. So that's all about the introduction in this short video. Please feel free to add comments, and you can also ask questions. You can add more reflections on this area on your own video or whatever resource you have. And thank you very much.